So someone asked, what about when he points out other people who accepted that behavior in the past? It's annoying. Yes, but I'm just going to let you know because I tend to look at these things very objectively, and I tend to see all behaviors as almost like something rooted from childhood. When you're a child, you have a lot of behaviors, right? When sometimes you don't outgrow these behaviors and these responses to certain things, right? If someone does not address it or it's not clipped in childhood, technically these behaviors don't go away. They just transform into more adult-like versions of those behaviors. And a lot of the times, people cannot handle an adult that's behaving technically like a child. People can't handle that, right? And oftentimes, men will not be aware of their power, and it's like they'll struggle with someone managing up if they're the so-called leader. They'll struggle with being receptive to feedback. It's them wanting to be the boss, but have a problem being checked. Like there's something off about that. And the only people that ever really struggle with being checked or someone managing up, right? Because even in a leadership position, someone has to be comfortable with managing up or being able to give feedback to their boss. Simultaneously, the leader needs to be able to be receptive to whoever is giving them feedback. Now imagine having these people claiming to be leaders and they can't take feedback from the people that they want to follow them. So these people that would tend to go into situations and expect to be centered as the leader and be given all this power, however, they cannot change their behavior to better lead this dynamic. So you'll often have a man that, let's say extreme cases, it's a narcissist. And what a narcissist is basically an adult child that still has this fixed delusion or this mindset that the world revolves around them. A child that cannot accept decisions, right? That behavior in adulthood looks like a man that struggles with accepting no. Struggles with a man that cannot take feedback. That is a man that cannot take feedback. He struggles with it. He is conflict avoidant. And that right there is why many people have accepted his behaviors in the past. You can't check an adult man, right? You cannot. If a man is resistant to getting feedback, you're going to have to get away because it's only going to result in your abuse. When you're an adult and a child struggles with accepting feedback and decisions, right? They might throw a tantrum, but they're a baby. It's no harm. Now imagine an adult responding like that to your feedback. You have to run. So I say this all to say, these men that tend to say, well, someone accepted this in the past, can you go tell them to go and find that person again, okay? And it's so funny that they'll point out, oh, well, this person accepted this in the past. It's the fact that you're not with them right now. That's the problem. It's the fact that he's not with that person. And the only person that might be tolerant of that is his mama. Tell him to go find his mother. Return him to sender, please.
Pygmies are the mothers of the men who troll your comment sections. That's why their mothers aren't embarrassed by the...
Also, in fact, pick-me mothers model the behavior for these men to understand how you should not pick a woman. These men are in fact conditioned to repel and never pick women that are like that. If his mother was a pick-me, dealing with a pick-me is going to trigger him. In fact, he'll gravitate towards a pick-me and keep her there, right? Like kind of like that side piece, or, you know, those women that just be there and they just never get picked. Those men will do that. They perpetuate that relationship that they had, that something borderline incestuous. These mothers that played pick me and model the behavior for their sons to never pick them actually gravitate towards women that are just like that. And they also never pick them, because why would you want to do that if that created the trauma? You know what I mean? That's not healthy. But these men are not aware of that. But you women that want to be picked, just know that you're basically enabling the trauma and that karmic loop, that you're enabling those behaviors of those men. So to be a pick me is never quite safe at all. All it takes is for you to attract a man with mommy issues. And if he gravitates towards a pick-me, I promise you, he has mommy issues. Men with mommy issues tend to have these tendencies to like women that are like their mothers, and their mothers are pick-me's. Their mothers was the initial pick-me. That's why they kind of talk about these pick-me behaviors. They idolize it, kind of like how they idolize their mothers. But who wants to date their mother? Are they ever quite happy with their mother? They'll want a woman like their mother, but never really treat them well. You guys see that, no? Are we in the same reality here? Also, the reason why pick me mothers enable those behaviors of that trolling behavior, because pick me mothers were permissive parents. These were the moms that couldn't really say no to their son. These were the moms that were like boy moms. These were the moms that also neglected their sons, that expected their sons to kind of like gallivant and frolic and do all these things. These are the women that coddled them to play. These were the women that didn't really raise them. They loved them though. And all the love did was enable them to be led to their own demise. And how it shows up is not being able to get like a higher education or hold on a good job, lack of career strives, not able to kind of like be fit on a developmental level as their female peer. Let's think about that. But yet they want to pick me woman. A lot of them are not even fit to even pick a woman that they can actually maintain. Not the one that they truly want though. Guys, this is such a sad world. Why? I don't understand. Why are we still doing this? Like, why are we even having? If you're not careful, you can end up dealing with men with severe mommy issues, and how it presents itself is with the avoidant attachment style. Now, the thing with men who have mommy issues, they might not be aware of it, but they might be aware that they have an avoidant attachment style, which is basically this tendency to lean out of relationships or closeness. Avoidance says you prefer to work things through independently of others. Now, when mommy issues comes into play with someone that has an avoidance attachment style, you can often deal with men who will always choose to avoid closeness. Now, the trauma that comes up for men that have maternal wounds or mommy issues, these men were often sometimes parentified, right? These men often were sexualized. It's almost like emotionally incestuous. It's that dynamic where the narcissistic mother, for example, tends to parentify or treat the son as if it's her boyfriend. Now, these men can be very uncomfortable with closeness, but at the same time will give you boyfriend treatment. Now, when you as a woman, right, is seeing the way in which he's engaging, giving you boyfriend treatment, but avoiding the core things that make a situation secure, which is closeness, when they avoid that and you try to directly address them about it, you can trigger them. Also, men with mommy issues, they can have some form of emotional arrested development. They can often tend to gravitate towards women that are more emotionally mature. These women would have the resilience to be able to address these things, because obviously someone that's more mature emotionally is also psychologically more mature. So they can see these men with these behaviors and address it. Now, men with mommy issues that struggle with, well, technically do tend to struggle with female authority. So a lot of these issues that they tend to deal with is dealing with women that are more mature, obviously, because that's what they need. That's how the dynamic is being maintained. And these women will try to help them, but they'll be resistant. Also, I just want to add, men with mommy issues that tend to be very okay with friends with benefits. They tend to drag you along in situationships or find themselves in situationships. Sometimes they'll even find themselves in relationships in which they're just heavily attached to the person and they can't seem to get away, but they're still giving boyfriend treatment while being in complete denial that this is a real situation. It's almost like the dynamic or relationships tends to bring them back to that emotionally incestuous place. So seeing a man give you boyfriend treatment, but for some reason don't want to build a foundation, you have to just consider if he's still seeing you like his mom. Is the dynamic reminding him of when he was a kid and he was with his mom like that? So I've come to the realization that I remind them of the version of their mom that she was never able to become. Why? Because she was busy raising him. I remind them of the version of their mom that they idolize. The version of their mom that never got a chance to fully become the woman that she wanted to be because she had to play mommy and daddy. And then I, on one hand, thought to myself, how does a person like me, raised in a two-parent household, tend to attract men that have mommy issues and were raised in a single-parent household? You know, I can attract lots of people, but every now and then I'll attract that type of archetype of a guy. And I'm like, what does that say about me? What is it about me? So I'm having this discussion with my sister, and I said, how the hell is this a thing? And I was raised in a two-parent household. And then it occurred to me, right? It's me being the oldest one, and we all know that the first one tends to be given mommy 2.0. And then I realized it's being raised like a single mom in a two-parent household. That'll do it. No wonder they're attracted to me. I remind them of their single mama, the one that the mama never got a chance to become. And I'm over here just basking in the glory of being just that. And it's the fact that I have the audacity to complain about that too. And let's get into the fact that how did I manage to even just be given single mom in a two-parent household? It's giving parentified child. Yes, these are the issues I must work out because I cannot.